Hey, Donna, seeing if hey everyone, seeing if there's a way that I might be able to separate the chat from this live so that I can perhaps have a better look at it when I answer questions. Hey everyone. Hi Nicole. I don't really see a way with this platform. Just hold on for 1 minute. We'll wait till we get some more in. I just got to shut off my power for my computer. We got a few here. I'll perhaps begin 119. Like last evening with this chat, it was it got flooded, and it got flooded. Then I couldn't see all of your questions, and someone suggested that maybe I could separate the chat from the live feed. But if anyone knows of a way, can you PM me later if you don't mind, and then I'll have it for future reference. And thank you all. I love you all, and everything is great. It was beautiful evening here. I looked at the ocean. The water is calm, which is great. And it's very indicative of where we're at with the whole Ascension thing and everyone at this time. So it's very beautiful to say that we're in sort of a void area with this right now. And I spoke a little bit about it last night, that we had hit the bottom and we were raising back up in vibration and back towards unity, and coming all together to take the huge leap forward together. So very indicative of that. Now, having said this, I had anticipated earlier today to have a different topic for tonight's show. However, Father kind of creator kind of changed that, and so I got a little bit different. I was going to speak about spiritual bypassing a little bit because it's beautiful. That was brought up in last night's show. But having said that, we have Father said I needed to address the feminine care, not address it, but to show it, and to show a bit of my compassion again in that area, and to recognize the hurt and the pain that is involved with that entire thread, and what they're taking on for the collective at this time to heal within the feminine. But as we know, it's not only to the feminine, it's also with the masculine. And, together, this is how we rise up above the old societal conditioning, what was the norm, and we raise out of that together, and we're always going forward. Any of you that may feel that this is was a huge setback, that why did it occur? Because it had to occur. And there is a lot more behind this, which is actually very beautiful once you have the full picture. And everyone is going to come out of this the other side so thankful that this occurred, because it's so pertinent at this time. However, we are in the early stages of rising back out of this, which we will do very quickly with it. I don't tend to get too much into the divine dynamics with what occurred, because that will come later once we have everyone at a level where they are at least at a neutral perspective, or back into the full higher capacity of the consciousness what is here at this time. And the reason for that is because of, the what I teach is that, and what was taught before, is that any fear, any anger, any hurt, any negative emotion will cloud the perspective if it's there. And because of that, hurt is a very real thing. Sadness, what have you, we all know this. And it's been a long journey with it. And no one can avoid this. And especially anyone that is associated with me and following me, I will trigger you to get that deepest stuff out. And it's for good reasons. Uh, Anyone can blame me for that, and whatever you need to do. But what I say is everything I do is from my heart, and it's from compassion and for the good of all. And on the other side, everyone knows this. And I'm not talking about the other side when you're dead. What I'm talking about is the other side of this when it's all over, very shortly, when everyone comes out of the days of what has been occurring. And for any new viewers, I'm referring to um, I being what looks like attacked on my credibility, and with many allegations and accusations towards me. But it was very important that this occurred, and it does affect the overall divine feminine and divine masculine. So it's very important that this occurred. So again, I am a trigger. I am very powerful, but I am a pain taker as well. And I'm here to assist you with taking yourself higher. It's not about me here with this. It's about empowering you and assisting to get rid of the things that no longer serve. We're going into unprecedented times, and you cannot go there when you are controlled by the lower density emotions, the negative emotions. And I'm not saying that we're going to a place void of emotion. What I'm saying is the place that we are creating, which is coming here next, which is just above us, that we are rising into, is the place where you don't require the negative or fear actions and responses nor emotions anymore. So it needs to be cleared. We cannot create that. And I believe I mentioned that, last night, and perhaps in a few preceding lives. So I don't need to get right more into that now. But what I will need to do is do a lot of writing and put it in the script. After this is over, my main intentions and focus right now is raising the feminine back up, as well as with the masculine. However, this time a lot more masculine are coming. They're already here. And I'll get specific on the topics here, because I started to go all over the place with the things I wanted to touch on tonight. So uh, I'll take this moment and for the feminine care that I put out is I love you all, everyone that is involved in this, everyone that is even neutral, and everyone that isn't involved in this. You have from my heart my deepest love in this. Involved in this at the moment with accusations against I are many that I love. They are very good friends, what I consider, And also I love them very, very much, and I know that we get all through this shortly. So, having said that, that is my compassion for what you are going through at this time. Now, with that, again, you get all over it soon, and I've already seen signs that ones are coming out of it. So it's very great. And as I said, the best way to look at this is that it was a role that needed to be played out. And you are heroes, all of the ladies, feminine, that are involved in this against me. I consider you great heroesses, I guess, or heroines, or anyhow, you're very powerful, great angels. So, uh, and I thank you so much for your contribution to what needed to be done. And if it's any assistance of you, if you are at the level of stepping out of it and observe it neutrally, uh, perhaps you might wish to look at it, as I said, that it was a very beautiful divine sacrifice that you had made at this time. But what I wish to say, this sacrifice that you made at this time, it does not stay with you. It does not stay with any of us. It is a cleaning to rise to the next levels. And at the soul level, each one of you that's involved in this, blaming me, uh, I will say, and if it resonates, it does. But what I will say, at the soul level, you chose this huge task to bear the brunt of this deep suppression that was in the feminine. With it stems into all aspects of the feminine suppression and what have you, in the hurt and the load that they had to carry. And but we're going past all of that in the futures. So I love you all, and my love is with you with that, and we get all through it. And I am a very uh, patient, loving, compassionate humanoid Rick as well, and I know what it's like. And I was very fortunate when I came here in 2010 and 11, when I was awakened to who and what I was. I was very fortunate, because when I came here, there was no questioning that God was real, and who I was, and let's say what I had to do. It was delivered to me, and it was a very extensive, um, abrupt learning and update on everything what was occurring on the surface throughout humanity, throughout the divine angels that had incarnated here. And it was very extensive when I got here. But fortunately, I did not need to go through so many of the trials and tribulations and a lengthy journey as many of you did when you worked on your spiritual journey. So, having said that, I was very fortunate that I was able to not skip not skip steps in it, but it was very quickly given to me in very quick test. But let's say I was getting the answers to the tests at the same time. So it was unlike the challenges many of you had to have. But I do acknowledge and I feel deeply those challenges with this. But I'm here to say fully that we get through this very quick, and it's something beyond what you ever imagined, what you are and what we are going to do going forward together. You're so important. You're so special. You're so special. The ones that are blaming me, but everyone is with this. So what I say is my deepest respect for you, my deepest love, and From the human aspect, I miss you too, because we had with some of you, I was in communication, some on a daily basis, and without any explanation to me what occurred, it just went soup. We were cut off from communication. So I love you all, and in that respect, the feminine to the totality with this ascension. You're most valuable. You are leading the charge because were the most powerful in the unconditional love area to lead that. And you were chosen at this time to do that because it was essential at this time to do it. The masculine are very strong in their unconditional love as well, and we all arrive at it. However, for the current vibration that was upon the planet and the current patriarchal structure and the societal structures, the unconditional love was suppressed in the masculine lesser than it was with the matriarch, with the feminine. So these things had to be taken care of in the divine ways that they were to assure this ascension. And the feminine was chose to lead that charge. There was, let's say, a sort of, I really don't like to say a sort of urgency, but what I would like to say by the divine souls, and because of universal laws that were broken, and when I say universal laws, I mean dimensional laws that deals with physics and a lot of other things, as you would know it. But again, I'm starting to ramble on with that. However, feminine, yay, we keep going forward, and masculine, hey, is right here. So what you're going to see with this is, what we're going to do. I know what I'm already seeing it, is the masculine and the feminine is going to be more proportionate going forward. The feminine, like, was, the percentage, they were up like 75%, 25% masculine. You're going to see that even out right more now. And it's already occurring the last few days again. And just yesterday, I checked a couple sources for indications on that. And yes, they are seeing it. And so it is so. So that's great. So again, we rise together, feminine and masculine, and all of my love to you during this time, and you get through it. Okay, so we got the current energies I'll get to. So we have, as I said tonight again, we have like a lull or a void, and I was speaking with, over the last couple days, several divine comrades, and what they brought up is they're feeling this as well, and it's coming in slightly different sensations to the individuals, but some of their definitions or describing what it is like is something like a nothingness, and the feeling that that they're not perhaps in the place where they should be. These sensations are from the soul level, because your soul, your heart actually knows everything because there is no time. So what it does sometimes, it sends a message through sensations and feelings, and this is how it is generated to the brain into a sort of a message to let you know what's coming. So it's a warning of that. A warning in a good way. There's never anything bad to warn of, but it's an indicator what is coming. So we're just kind of right now just just swirling around here in a cam motion, ready to rise up further. So it's so with that, I believe it was one of my divine comrades mentioned Vera Ingeborg did a live with Todd last night that she watched, and she said Vera had described it as well. So what we're seeing is that, yeah, you know, the collective are feeling it all to the extent with this in one way or another. It's all the same thing. It's just that for each you feel it a little bit differently. So it's great. Hi, everyone that's just joining. So, again, I mentioned last night the importance of somewhere's around May 9th, perhaps, and this sunspot that will be turning towards Gaia here. It will be. It contains a very great energy. It's already emitting that, which is being caught up in the solar wind and being directed here as well. Uh, that is one way to look at it. As many of you know, that the sun is at least connected with this ascension, what occurs with it. So that's great. So yeah, May 9th, something about that. Let's see what occurs. So with spiritual bypassing, that come up last evening, and when it come up, I was unfamiliar with that label or term or definition, and you know, I just before the show, I went to look a little bit at it, what it was, and it, it kind of let's say it describes, you know, some things within one's pretty good. What it to put a clear definition on it. Let's say that it's you can't get past doing the inner work. It has to be done. You cannot jump over it. So if you didn't do the inner work and learn the basics and the essentials to get it from outside of you, then you've got to go back and do it. And that is a given, because what holds you here again, it's fear. And anything that is negative or fear, it holds you in these realities. So if you look at a spiritual bypassing, uh, you know, ones will, the way it was described in our article, they'll ride the wave, but if they have a certain ego, they will not do the inner work. And then, but when it's time to do it, they will be confronted with it, with that very abruptly, depending upon how important it is to the individual's growth, but also to the collective going forward with that. And in relation to that, I can guarantee you that with spiritual bypassing, no, I did not do that. I had to do things very quickly. As I said, I was fortunate in what I had to deal with the separation of the dark shadow, what was in me. It wasn't very dark, but it was there, because that's what keeps you in this reality. So I had to deal with that. I was tested very quickly from the human Rick with things in my family that were brought up very quickly, that from the human Rick to the humanoid Rick, if you wish. It was a 180-degree flip. It just happened overnight. That's why I said, with me, the journey was very quick. I could not, for what and who I am, I could not bypass it. I had to go through it. But fortunately, it occurred very quickly with and I was told and showing many things with it. So again, but again, anyone that's watching this and any new ones beginning your journey, again, we got to go back to the basics. When you're beginning your journey, you've got to do this inner work. You, if it takes time to be alone, to do it and reflect, you have to do it. And without a partner or what have you, you you need to work on getting rid of the fear and the negativity. And at this point, I in the Real Angels group and what I am doing, we are going to be in the future, Sarah, putting more information out on this, making it more inclusive. The intentions are with this to keep delivering the knowledge um, to the extent that it needs to be put out there as well. Uh, but with this, what I should say, in the Real Angels, yeah, it's for Real Angels, and to be a real angel, you're going to learn there to get rid of all of your negativity and to empower yourself up back to your creator status where you're able to create uh, all good things and for the good of all. And you cannot have your full creator status as an angel if you have these things inside. They need to be cleansed. So that is just so important for you. I dedicate my time and I sacrifice my time here to assist with that part of the ascension. And as you know, I have assisted so many of you in the past with different things, and I always say for each one, you take what resonates with you, and what doesn't resonate, just put it aside and focus on what resonates. And then, perhaps later, you'll go back and see that thing that didn't resonate before, and now it resonates. And that just means now it's time. So when I'm teaching anything, it's so important to keep this note in mind because it will excel you forward very quick. So it's best to take only what resonates in the moment, but don't make a preconceived notion that on what you left behind isn't important because it could come up at another time. So always be open to that and don't restrict yourself thinking that you have everything you always need. Just be acceptive and be open to that. And it's the quickest way to raise you up to your quickest power. And that's what I am about, and it's what all teachers here should be about. All Ascension teachers should be showing you the way to empower yourself, not keep you in a continuous loop of, oh, I'll heal you, but not show you how to heal yourself. No, you need to know how to heal yourself, how to empower yourself, how to take back your divine sovereignty and not give away your consent and all of that good stuff because you are much more. You are different than, uh, as you see, may say, the masses that are not awakened. There is that difference, and there's an importance why you are here watching this. As you know, everything does happen for a reason. Um, so great. So just to sum that up again, you got to do the inner work, and you got to do the inner work that you're not controlled uh, by the negativity and the fear things, because if you don't master them, they will control you. For example, I'll give you some examples of this. They will, if you don't master hurt, if you're able to be hurt, then what will occur is you're going to lash out to attempt to hurt another. And what this is in the divine scheme of all things, then you keep energizing the air with the hurt, and you keep creating that into what could be a monster or whatever. But it's something that we're not here to create. We're here to create good things. So, and if you come from a place of sadness in your heart, if you're sad and you interact with another, well, you share that sadness in a story, then you make them sad, which lowers the vibration. It's so important to know what things that you have inside of you that have not been cleansed, they dictate how you act. And this is what you need to master. If you have anger inside of you, you are going to be acting and reacting angry towards people. That's not an angel. We don't do that. And it's not only for the angels, what I'm saying, it's for humanity. It's what we are bringing here in place. We are civilizing humanity, if you will, for higher timelines, but we keep going higher. But to civilize humanity is to take them to that total place where there is no blame, everything just is in harmony to do that. Now, so what we do is we teach the way towards it. So we teach as many as we can. Then when they're all acting simply out of love, there is no war, there's no poverty, there's no sickness, there's no violation of anyone. It cannot exist. Um, However, saying that, this is a human playground here for the soul. So, there will be some experiences in the lower dimensions, in the 4D timelines, lower 5D timelines. But for any of you that is watching this or that's on your ascension journey, you know that we're not restricted to that we keep going along. But uh, for you to even be looking at this or to be on an ascension journey, there is a reason for that. And it is. We are on a mission here, and we're on a mission to assist as many to empower themselves and rise up out of this. And meanwhile, or nice while they're doing that, is they're reflecting that change out into the realities. And this is what takes us out of the areas of all the negativity and the darkness that is in the world. Now, having said that, I am a trigger to that effect. If any has that within them, and if they're very important, I will trigger it because it's got to come out. You could say, I am a stern creator in that respect. It may hurt for a little while, but it's for the good of them and it's for the good of all. It needs to come out. There is much at stake here. You have a mission, and it's a priority not only for yourself to reclaim your divine sovereignty, but it's for the others. So it's a selfless act with this. You don't be selfish with it. We assist ones that come before us. Again, don't go out in the streets trying to heal everyone or spread the word or to try to impose what you know upon them. It doesn't work that way. If you're to assist ones, they will be placed before you in such a way that you will just meet them. Uh, there are no coincidences. Nothing is random. Everything is everything that happens does happen for a reason. You're placed in specific places at specific times. It's a chess game that has already played out. You know your roles, you know your scripts at the soul level. You're just not allowed to know it up in here, because if you carry that whole truth up in here, it changes everything you do out here. And that's why that veil to your full divinity and the remembrance of all that you are, that's why that veil is there, because it changes everything that you do. And this divine plan that you're all part of, it is the dynamics of it is so complex, and it matters for some of you what you do every second of your day. So I wish to make that. So having said that, Christy Noel Fedderson, she says, would it kill you to apologize for the pain you may have caused another? I don't get it, she says. Christy, I love all of them and I recognize the pain, but when you say that I caused it, I can't lie. I did not cause it, and that's why I cannot apologize. I cannot say that I did something that I did not. That is deceit, and it's a negative fear response. And this is why I am where I am with this. I must stand in my divine truth. I do not create nor energize anything that is deceitful or negative. As I said again, Christy, this had to occur. I have my full love for my divine companions that are part of this, and I thank them so much for the sacrifice at this moment. And as I said, they are heroines, is what they are on the other side of this, which will come very quickly. So everything is beautiful. It's just that some are misunderstanding what is occurring. And believe me, I will take this time that the higher consciousness ones that were not directly involved into it, even though ones that were involved in it were higher consciousness, those were the ones selected by themselves to play that role. But the other higher ones know and recognized it immediately for what it is and why it was occurring. But we're all together with this. And when our divine comrades, the feminine, raise out of this what occurred, and when they're back on level ground and they're almost there, some of them are now. Actually, one has risen right up out of it, which is just so beautiful to see her on the other side with her divine sovereignty and her prowess. And she is a beautiful angel now to be reckoned with, that no darkness can do anything against. She has mastered that. She come up on the other side of it. And it's what all of you are going to be doing. So no, I do not apologize for something I did not do. However, I said I do trigger things, which is a difference. And I'm not getting into a lengthy explanation with that because at this point it may still be misconstrued and distorted and manipulated for what it is. But thank you, Christy, Noel Fedderson, for bringing up that important question. So, what else? Where was I at here? Oh, okay, here's a good one. Here's what I got here next. It says, so, we looked at if you're sad and what you are generating, you'll make another sad. But now let's look at the good things. So if you come from a happy place, you make the others happy. So it's love, it's good. So, what do we choose? You have that power. You always had that here, and you know that. But it's so much more powerful now with the vibration. So keep happy, and just keep training the brain to erase the conditioning that was put here. So keep doing that is what I suggest. Okay, now we're going to get in to the very important subject that is front row and center here, let's say in this now, with the masculine. It's very important. So, you know, the feminine's been leading the charge. I've been assistant with that aspect. As many of you know, that I rarely ever assisted the masculine to that degree. There were others that did that, many other beautiful angels and teachers, you know, and their focus would be towards the masculine to assist them with purveying whatever information would raise them up and to be there when they were needed. But we are now at a level that there is clearing and things that need to be done with the inner work in the masculine. They are very powerful, yet, however, they need to be risen up further. Ladies, divine feminine, they need your assistance with that. And again, many are powerful. They do not need your assistance, but there are some that are coming up out of the trenches that do need that. They need you to be there with this. So that's important. Um, So what's going to be occurring, and it's already occurring, and I'm sure many of you, if I was to ask you the question, you know, over the last week or perhaps 2 weeks, have you noticed an increase of higher consciousness in, you know, the masculine that you might just meet on the street or somewheres? Are you noticing how they are beginning to come from a higher place, if you will, in their actions and things they may say? These are your indicators. But also, you may find that some of you are subjected to having interactions with more males, and you are recognizing something spiritual. You are beginning to feel something from them that you know you didn't notice as much before. So what I'm saying, it is occurring, and without asking you all, I do know that many of you could relate to that and share. And Rick Wolf, hello, dear brother Rick. Hello, dear brother Rick Wolf. Back to you, brother. Thank you. What's going to be going on? This was going to be my main topic tonight, about the masculine and the masculine suppression. However, Father kind of switched up what I was going to do, and I obeyed that. But one of the, you know, we can begin to get in a little bit about what occurred with the masculine. The masculine, the main thing to begin with, they were suppressed in their feelings. And this is very important. And what in this new age and in the new relationships that will be formed, it's so important for the masculine and the feminine to be fully open with their feelings with this. It you know, it matters in any relationship, but it matters more in this divine time for any of you ascending. It becomes utmost important to not keep your feelings inside, and and especially with the masculine. If the masculine, let's say, I'll try to use some examples. Let's say if a masculine sees a very beautiful lady, he should be able to, and he needs to be able to say that she's beautiful. Now, men, masculine that are watching this, I do it all the time. When I see the beautiful ladies, they're all beautiful, but you know, if you stop to talk to one that you don't even know, sometimes I'll just say, you know, you are very beautiful. And I'm not hitting on the lady, and it's not about anything sexual. What it's about, it's stating the truth. It's about me speaking from my heart and sharing what I am seeing. And this is so important. And you know, some uh, some of the feminine in the past, they would, kind of think that is creepy, but in actuality, the word creepy kind of means fear, and you're not supposed to have that, ladies. It, your 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 beautiful bodies and everything that you are is a beautiful temple to be admired from the opposite sex, and this also holds true for the masculine. The feminine, you're attracted to a certain physical masculine, be open with that. It goes both ways. We need to be equal here with this. You can't keep anything inside, because what occurs as well, it just, if you take a moment to think about it, if you see a beautiful lady, and you know in your heart that she is beautiful, but you don't tell her that. Well, what could occur? This could be a single lady, and where you did not say that she was beautiful and you just watched her walk by, she could have been your twin flame. Someone's got to make a move with this. So you need to always be fully open to be more aligned where you should be. See, because also, if you conceal how you feel, you are not going with the divine flow, and it's more challenging to place you in the right places for your most favorable path. So this is a part of what's going on. So with that, it's so important. But the years, where males had to be the protector and suppress their feelings, they had to be strong, and try not to cry nor shed a tear. Those days, during this transition are gone. It's beautiful for a man to cry and express his feelings when he needs to. And this is so important as well. And it's beautiful to express tears of joy. And at this moment, I will say that I do. I cry, but it's tears of joy, because in my world, everything is beautiful, and there's high moments of bliss with that. And it's so beautiful that it does bring tears to this humanoid Rick's, eyes, and it does. And I openly share that with many, and I know many of you could attest to it. And men, the masculine, be like that. It's powerful. You need to express yourself, and even if you're sad, get that up so you can work on it, and don't be sad. You need to vent. You don't keep things inside of you. When you keep things inside, it festers, and it causes a bad feeling. And the reason it does that, because it's against what you are. If you're not speaking your truth, then it will cause pain inside of you. But when you speak your truth and you speak freely of what you feel and what you see, you create a divine flow in you. And also, this holds true for both sexes, both genders, the feminine and the masculine. However, again, this is so important at this time that it needs to be recognized amongst the Ascension masculine how important this is, because it's an integral part of your learning, of your inner work, and your mastery to overcome this. You need to be vulnerable. You need to go down on your journey to the most vulnerable, naked spot where nothing is left there. That's where you need to go, where anything dark or negative is not left there. Then that's when you begin to rise up. And you rise up very quickly once you have all of this out of you as well. So, again, I started to touch on the masculine, and I had prepared in this consciousness pretty well a whole show on this topic. However, I'm just touching on bits and pieces of it now. And, having said this, the feminine contributions to their understanding with this is so important as well. So each works together on taking this forward. So I just wish to say that. I'm a little bit there distracted. There's some other energies going around there, which is interesting. So, what else do I got there in lines with that? I know I had with the masculine when you, yeah, that pretty well with the masculine. That's pretty well a show that I wish to put in point form in a sort of a more organized way when I do this with the masculine. So that show will be coming up shortly, and as I said, I need to get into the sexual energies because that is going to get a lot more wilder here. We have a lot more kundalinis activating. We need to get the information out for them so they understand what's happening and some higher perspectives for each one to look at. So we have lots coming with this as well. So what I'll do right now, I'll have a look and I'll take a few questions if you wish. Check, see what I got here for battery. Well, I got lots of battery, so we're great there. And well, they're only 52 minutes in, so great. Anyone got any questions we can look at? Open to anything. It doesn't have to be on topic. Whatever goes, whatever divinely comes up. What I wish to say, I'm hoping if Sharon joins that perhaps Sharon and I can, do let's say do shows in the future as well, perhaps on the twin flame aspects. And Sharon, she may have things of her own that she wishes to put out as well, so that may be fun and cool. Because as some of you already know, Sharon Piccola Hartman and I, we at least had a divine union. We came together for 2 weeks, and what I can share with you, it was just a very blissful, peaceful, harmonious time that we had, and just so beautiful. We were like, I guess you could say we were still upon the surface, but we were kind of like in maybe the sixth dimension or what have you. Our experiences were all beautiful in complete harmony. And the reason I'm bringing this up is not to gloat, but to let you know that you can have that as well. And it's a journey to get rid of all that darkness. But when Sharon and I come together, we had did all of our inner work before, and there was nothing to clear. Everything just worked perfect and harmonious, and we created magic and different things. And Sharon is a very powerful divine creator as well, and we had fun just joining our energies together and seeing a little bit of what we could create. We did not get be, began to get too deep into the divine union because we were just getting familiar with each other, but we were also on like a divine holiday. So we were just enjoying each other and each other's company, and just testing our abilities, if you will, looking at things, and it was very good. but that's coming for all of you guys, you know, in your relationship. Some of you are already into it, and but more of you will be, and it's very beautiful. But it begins within each one of you to get yourself ready for it, and then when you come together, if you have all of your inner work done, and if the other has the inner work done, when you come together, the chances then are very great that you are with your twin flame. If you don't have all of your inner work done, but your kundalinis are activated or whatever, and you come together, you may not be with that twin flame, because there are catalysts that will look like that, and you may have many. And, you know, that's another show to get onto in the future. And uh, as you know, we have information on every aspect of this ascension, because when I come here, I needed to be informed on not only every aspect of the ascension, I needed to be informed on every part of the societal structure that was in place with humanity and the civilization here. So my knowledge is extensive to the degree that it's all encompassing. It's general in some areas and more extensive in the ascension areas, with you know, very extensive into areas like with the parapsychology, psychology, even all of those aspects with physics to the degree, not really the physics the way that is that you'd need to read a book for, but let's say the physics in a way that it's your inner knowing how they work. So many good things. Anyhow, we got some questions up here. And Florida Lee, she says, a beautiful person always recognizes the beautiful things outside of their body. It's natural quantum old ways of seeing. Remember that. Oh, it's a great one. Yeah. Thank you, Fleur. Yeah, I always see the beautiful things as well. It's just amazing. Hearts show up all the time. That's because I'm loved. And you are as well. Yeah. Thanks. Just scroll here, see if we have any questions. Nicole Jumpy, it feels like being up in a cloud. Well, that can reference a lot of things. I don't know what you were referring to, but yeah, it is. It's very beautiful. Many things like that. Okay, Jody Friedas has she says, is what you mentioned about letting go of lower dimensions. Does this mean we drop all of our energy that is working to change the lower dark activities? With that, Jody, we have so many ground crew groups here. So that question would depend, let's say, on the individual. If you're part of that group that's working to change the lower dark activities, uh, to assist in that area, remain with it. But if you're saying is what you mentioned about letting go of lower dimensions, okay. With that, a part for to strengthen yourself and to come into your um, a very high place of your own power, the more attachments that you can let go of to the 3D, the more it frees you up and you're more power. Um, so it's why it's so important. But you know, with the when you say the 3D, the lower dimensions, the 4D, it's so important to be flexible that you're not attached. You know, you have attachments there, but uh, just be flexible to the degree that you're able to detach, that you know that you can detach in the blink of an eye, that none of it matters. What matters is in the now, and know you have the ability to detach from that. But if your divine instruction and work is to do thing in the lower dark areas to assist, by all means, yeah, continue doing that. But in the moment's seconds notice, be ready to come out of that if your guidance dictates that, or if that's what you feel you should do. So I hope that answered that. But I believe there might have been some more I could have put in there with that. Pauline Cuttajar, she says, can't you do the inner work together? And Sherry Wilson replied, no. You know, with this, what I strongly suggest is no, don't do it together uh, in any relationship. And the reason why is because you have different energies going on, and it can make it more confusing. Really, Pauline, it's best and for anyone to do your inner work alone and prepare yourself and power yourself up. Because it's also so important. If you come together with a partner that is really not already, and you try to begin to do your inner work, it prolongs the thing, and it causes perhaps static, and it's not as refined as what you may wish for it to be. It's what I suggest is do your inner work uh, on your own. But when you do your inner work on your own, that means that anything you need to clear will occur outside of you, and recognize it, that it's something that you do need to clear. And then you begin not letting it affect you nor control you, and these sort of things with your inner work. And your inner work is very extensive. We can there are books written on it and a whole show on that, but basically you have the idea of what it is. um, yeah, okay, I see your question again, Pauline. Yeah, it says, do you have to do the inner work before coming together with your twin, or can you do the inner work together? Again, I just, yeah, I answered that it what I suggest is, each one must follow your own path, what you feel, because you're always learning things. What I'm just doing, giving you the higher perspective, you may find that you can accomplish more things on your own much quicker than trying to do it together. So that is one of the reasons. And number two, if you do your inner work on your own, and you're much more quicker and efficient at doing that, then once you get up to that level, then you will attract one of that same level. Instead of just having a lot of inner work to do, what you'll do is you'll attract usually one that has a lot of inner work to do. And with two of you together, sometimes it works, but sometimes it don't. But on an individual basis, there's nothing really written in stone. I just suggest you have your inner work to do it alone, but that doesn't mean you need to. Everyone is different. Thank you. Lori Hartram, she detached from everything and everyone except her son, which she needed to be. And thanks, Lori, for that. And my love to you and Luke as well, uh, for all that you do too. And yeah, you got to do that sometimes, as some of the powerful feminine, like they go into being a hermit um, and go into celibacy for many years while they're working on their self. And I also went into a short hermit stage to work on myself too. But with me, again, everything happened abruptly, and it was divinely assured that my times for working upon myself I was allotted the time to do it very quickly. Okay. Don Ivy says, twin flame soul connection. Not sure if a karmic twin or not has quickened my spiritual growth when my Kundalini activated. That question, what I do, Don Ivy, when I work with individuals, it depends on what stage or they're at in their growth to what I will suggest. And the reason I need to say this is because there are many answers. There's not just one answer because it depends on what's occurring. And it depends on that individual as well because there is a uniqueness. And when I am dealing one-on-one assisting one, I do use my other gifts to know what is occurring with them so that I can get right to where things can be tweaked up. So getting back to your question, if it's quickened your spiritual growth, Dawn, just what I'm feeling, yes, because in your situation, it's also best for everyone to be at a position that everything's divinely perfect and just accept it as it comes and not resist it, but always put that good label onto it. That way you're able to move so much quicker forward, is what I suggest. So thank you for that. Um, this is interesting. So I learned at Marhefka. She says something going on with numerous large fleets gathering and showing themselves. Photos coming in from all over planet. Do you know of a plan or something coming up? And it's Eileen. Oh, okay, Eileen. Uh, Eileen, I have not been informed to the degree of anything big with the ships. I have not been in communication to that degree. But let's say with that, it's very possible there could be, perhaps it's connected to May 9th. Could be why you're seeing this. Um, okay, there's some things right now that I may not say in regards to this. However, I will say that yes, I was alerted, not alerted, I was made aware of that this was occurring, that there were uh, more ship activity and making a more prominent and known appearance to others. I will say that. Uh, I will also say a few weeks ago, uh, I had, I believe Sharon was with I then, that there were ships one night had took a strategic formation, which is very important to see that. I did not communicate with it with them at that time because I always trust the divine plan, and I know everything is taken care of with the overall mission. There was never any fear or any doubt because everything is preordained. So what I tend to do, just go with the flow. If I need to know something about the ships or about what's going on, I'm given that, and I don't speculate on it. What I'll, but I will share to what I feel and some observations from down here that I had or may have. As I said, for being here, a lot of the part of what I am is um, cut off to the degree that it's blocked because I cannot be here in the way I am, holding in a humanoid consciousness all of what the divine plan and everything is, and it's reasons for that. So I'm on a need to know basis, Eileen, with any of that, what's going on. If I don't need to know it, I'm not told it, and I keep my focus and my intents on doing my groundwork here, which is overseeing the ascension, but also assisting others in as many as I can. So that's where I'm at with that. Thank you. Bernadette Marks, she says the twin flame has many terminology in which each of you were created. You created your mates, your incarnation, your family to be born in, and not every incarnation did you both agree to be in together on every timeline, but a lot of them you all agreed to be together. Uh, thank you for that comment, Bernadette. And coincidentally, but we know there's no coincidences. Sharon actually and I were speaking about that earlier today. Um, so it's very great. And my response to that, I was not, I did not all entirely and inclusively give my perspective to Sharon on that. Uh, but what I did say is that I suggest for everyone to be subject to change to new truths. It's great to hold on to that truth, but always be open to higher ones. And because it's talking about the twin flame concept, well, as a result of what's happening in the higher vibrations we go up, many things that you were taught down here or learnt about the twin flame, it doesn't hold true the higher you go up. There things change. The twin flame thing, as I said, is a very beautiful thing, but it's the dynamics and things with it changes a bit as you go higher. So I suggest it's great to at least have a concept, but do not be limited to that one concept. Thank you, Bernadette. That is awesome. Yeah. Yeah. Um, oh, I haven't said that. I was going to make a joke about Bernadette's comment where Sharon and I was speaking about that today. I was going to say, Bernadette, were you telepathically listening in on Sharon and I? Well, that really is not a joke because it's so important with the collective and the telepathy that's being established more. And it's very great and it's very important and it's also indicative of the degree that the consciousness has expanded. And without mentioning names, I am seeing very impressive reports of some recent telepathy by ones, and just totally amazing. And it is very strong. But also, Heaven said this too, where I said, Bernadette, were you listening in jokingly? uh, we're all connected as a collective with this telepathy, and this is also, as we keep going higher, there are no secrets, and this is why I mentioned, uh, before we reach these higher levels, that there are no secrets, and I just lost what I was going to say, but anyhow, it's all good. But the telepathy is getting stronger. There's the someone labeled, like, you have clairaudience, right, where you can hear from different dimensions, different places, and clairvoyancy, the ability to see visions or premonitions. But the clairsmelliance, they labeled it, with the nose, that it's a form of telepathy as well, where, you know, uh, you may smell something in your vicinity and get on the phone uh, and find that someone 1,000 miles away just a minute ago was having, let's say, you smelt burnt toast, or say I smelt burnt toast, and let's say I called Sharon up, and she might say, "Oh, I just burnt my toast." Well, actually, it's the telepathy. It goes along that same field, and these are occurring as well. So that's very cool. Anyhow, just there's so much magic, at this point, that I could be sharing as well with you, because I am in touch with so many, but that share their magical experiences and all the cool stuff that's currently going on. But what I always suggest to anyone, uh, please share your things with the others openly, and that's so important too. So thank you. Jerry Hurley, he asked, is it a given that all divine masculines will awaken? Is it a matter of time, or will some